Okay, lots of you have asked for it. Here it is. What is in my kit bag? So I'm going to do a series of videos about all of my tools and all of the kit that I use. And as you might have noticed from the title, this is going to be part 1. So my job here as a cathedral stonemason can kind of be divided up into 3 categories, kind of 3 job roles really. So we have the setting out job, for which I need kind of measuring and drawing tools. That's a whole separate set of kit that I'll make a video about. Then I have my workshop tools. So when I'm in here carving stone, I have my mallets and chisels and marking up tools and that kind of thing. So that is going to be a whole separate series of videos. So then I have my fixing kit, my site kit, and that's what this is. So when I go out on site fixing stones on the building, this is what I take with me. Now we do kind of work seasonally, so there might be 3 or 4 months where I'm just setting out, just making templates, measuring up, getting measurements, drawing in the drawing room. Then there might be 4 or 5 months where I'm just in the workshop using those templates to work the stone and create the stone to go on the building. Usually that is over the winter when the weather is too bad for us to be out on site. And then by the end of spring, early summer, when we've kind of worked pretty much all the stones, then we'll all go out on site on the scaffold to actually fix the stones on the building. So when I go out on the scaffold, I take my kit bag, my fixing kit. I also take, my little toolbox. Okay. There's a few extra little kind of satellite bits that I bring with me on site. So I'll usually take a small grinder, a large breaker and a hammer drill. What else? They're all 110, so I'll have to take a transformer with me and some extension cables. I also take my huge PPE box, so whenever I go on site to do any site work, always bring my big chest of PPE, which I might make a video about if anyone is interested in stonemasonry PPE. We've got loads. But for now, we're going to dive into my basic fixing kit. So first off, I love a bucket bag. The orange one is my old one that I absolutely love. It is the best kit bag for hoying all your kit out on site. But recently, Velocity, who make these bucket bags, recently gifted me a brand new one. That's why this is so clean and lovely and shiny. So they recently gifted me one of these, and in true YouTube fashion, if you would like to win one of these bags, Velocity have teamed up with me to do a giveaway. How exciting. So if you watch this video to the end, I will explain to you all how you can be in with a chance of winning one of these beautiful high-vis bucket bags. Right, let's get stuck in. First off, I have my little bits and pods and stuff in the top. So first off, so that my little bits don't get lost in the bottom of the bag, I've got these little pods, also from Velocity. And they just have my chisels and my brushes. If you're working with quicklime, with the best will in the world, it doesn't matter how, you can do everything absolutely by the book, absolutely correct, and you will eventually get some lime staining on something at some point. Sometimes it just happens and you can't help it. You can be the most experienced mason, you're going to accidentally pour grout down the wall, you're going to accidentally get some lime staining. So I have a variety of little scrubby brushes, different materials, kind of nylon ones and wire ones for scrubbing lime off the wall, essential. I also have these are really cool. These are really cool. I stole these from the glazers. I don't actually know what they use them for, but they're nylon strips. They come in these big long lengths. They are 5mm thick nylon strips. So if I am taking a stone out and sliding a stone in, obviously you put your bed of mortar on and slide the stone in. You don't want that mortar to be pushed to the back and then your stone will tilt weird. So I put these on the bed, slide the stone in, pull these out, and then that helps keep an even 5mm bed. So these are really cool, handy little things. So then I have just a collection of chisels, and these are just nasty old chisels that are just for chopping out really, chopping out cement joints. I've got some old hacksaw blades that you can use to cut through joints. It's a wee little handle thing that I got from a car boot sale that you can put a hacksaw blade into, which is quite handy. Leaf trowel for line pointing, and then honestly just a selection of old chisels, just fire sharp chisels, just for boshing out cement, because we have a lot of neat cement in our building. Yeah, different sized leaf trowels. So that's just my little bits, chopping out chisels, and my little tin of bits. Yeah, French chalk for if I have to sketch anything on a stone, like mark out joint patterns or anything. Little ceramic armature, so if you have to build up any kind of mortar repairs, you can put ceramic armatures in them. I'll maybe do a video about mortar repairs at some point. Oh, these are important. Floss nuts. We've got dental floss and the floss nuts, and this is really essential stonemasonry equipment. In fact, they're so essential, I've actually put my mason's mark on my nuts so that no one can take them. If you want to know what these are for, then you need to watch a video I posted a couple of months ago about fixing tracery panels. So floss nuts, very important. Just got pens and pencils in here, really. Pens and pencils. Just if you guys can hear any weird noises, like directly above our workshop is the works canteen, and it's like 7:10 in the morning, so everyone's just turning up and making crumpets very loudly. Right, let's get in the bag. First things first. Oh, pry bars and crowbars. So breaking stones out the building, we do use breakers, the breakers, but then sometimes you just got to get a crowbar involved. These ones are from, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, so anyone who is German who is watching this, I'm so sorry. They are Rennstag, these guys. It's a company that's owned by Knipex, the guys that make the really good grips and pliers. Amazing, solid, German engineering, love these. So these are my crowbars for hoying stone out. But then this is my pry bar. I love this pry bar. I don't know if you can still buy these, actually. I got this about 5 years ago, and oh, it's so good. If I ever lost this, I would be gutted. But it's tapered to a really thin point. So this is for if I fixed a stone and it's a bit twisted, or it just needs like a little bit of like finagling, you can get this in, give it a little bit of like prying. It's like drawn out quite thin. It's not as like fat as a crowbar, and because it's so drawn out, you can kind of get in the joints. It's less likely to pluck the stone than using a crowbar. It's just a really nice thing. I love this pry bar. Top marks. Next, right, churn brush, bosh for knocking back pointing. Ruler, I love a folding ruler. This is a Stabila folding ruler. Sometimes you just need a folding ruler. They come in really handy. I know a lot of like the French and German masons use these, maybe not so much British masons, but like I'm a big fan of a folding ruler. Next thing, scaff spanner, because sometimes you just need a scaff spanner. Trowels, let's get into some trowels. These are kind of my 3 basic go-to trowels. Yeah, that's it really. I don't have a massive trowel. I'm not a bricklayer. I know bricklayers use like the giant Marshalltown trowels. I'm just hoy and gobbo in a hole usually. We're not laying like huge swathes of wall. So I've just got like, yeah, the old spoon trowel that I've rounded the end off of. It's quite a nice kind of half bucket trowel, half spoony trowel. I do have loads of trowels for like various jobs up there, which I might show you guys. Yeah, pointy trowel. And this is a pointing trowel. So you get these kind of, when you buy these, they're like 10 mil thick or 10 mil kind of wide. And I actually grind these down on our grinding wheel because our joints tend to be like 3 to 5 mil. So I grind that down to a point, so it's easier for me to get into our joints. Next, tape measure, important, tape measure. String line, just for the odd chance that I might be doing a run of, maybe I'm doing like a run of weatherings, a run of string courses, so string line, very important. Tiny little spirit level. Sometimes that just comes in dead handy. Tiny little level. What's next? Right, big chopping out chisels. Got these absolute beasts. So just flat chisel, scutchy claw chisel. They're good, little scutch claw. And these kind of thinner ones, these are quite good for like really getting in those tight joints. So these are from the same company that make my red crowbars. Rennstag. these guys. So they're a company that's owned by Knipex, and yeah, they do really good chopping out chisels, so they're great. What's next? Oh, I've got a bolster. This is my bolster from Footprint, bolster. It's got my initials on it because I went to the Footprint factory a couple of years ago, and they let us have a go at making them. So I made that. How cool is that? Riley pitcher. Is there any other kind of pitcher? No. If you're going to get a pitcher, you're going to get a Riley pitcher. The reason I have my Riley pitcher is because I've said it before, I'll say it again, if you are fixing coins and you're not boshing the back corner off all your coins before you fix them so you can get a little bit of a wiggle on, then are you even fixing coins? No. Next. Wire brush. Sometimes you just need a wire brush. We're nearly done, I promise. Lump hammer. Amazingly, I'm not using this end, I'm using this end. Sometimes you just need to like nudge a stone into place, and you're going to use this end of your hammer, and the weight of the hammerhead behind it helps you get a little bosh like that. So you're using the back end of your hammer mostly. Talking of hammers, I've got these two. So this is just a brick hammer, regular common garden, little brick hammer. But the thing that I'm probably going to use more is my walling hammer. So this is from Allure, from Stephen Travis. He makes these. So this is a bit different to your brick hammer because it's actually got a concave, I don't know if you can see that, like a little dimple in there. So it kind of acts like, every face of this acts like a pitcher. So you can pitch big chunks off the back of your stone, and it's obviously got the sharper end as well. So it's got some really good weight to it. So that's a really good one. Nearly done. Right, I love these hammers. I will never stop going on about buffalo hide hammers. Some masons prefer like a nylon hammer, so like the kind of white plasticky or the white rubbery mallets. I find them a bit too bouncy. I feel like you don't really get like the driving force through the stone with those. Like all the energy seems to just bounce back at you. But with these ones, these are rolled buffalo hide. They're they're kind of heavy, but when you hit your stone, it really it drives the force through the stone, and because it's rolled buffalo hide, it won't bruise the stone, it won't damage the stone. So I have a Thor number 4, that's the weight, so Thor number 4 with the interchangeable heads, so you can undo this and buy new heads as and when you need them. And then I've also got a Thor number 2, it's a little bit lighter, and that's got the rolled buffalo hide on one end and then like a nylon end on the other end. I think that's it. That's kind of it really. Oh, I've got a little pouch full of packers as well, because packers come in real handy. So we do have plastic packers. Obviously, when we fix a stone, we're not leaving them on packers. This is for dry fixing. So if you're doing like one stone out, one stone in, you need to know that stone's gonna fit before you put a bed of mortar on. So we put some packers on so that we're not doing like stone on stone. So put some packers on, slide the stone in, we know it fits, take it out, remove the packers, put some mortar on, then fix the stone. So packers in my little handy dandy velocity pouch. I think that's it really. Oh, this guy, dinky little crowbar, quite handy. This does come in handy because this is also quite drawn out, so you can like tweak things with it. That's it. So yeah, and also obviously got my bucket bag from Velocity. It's got a divider in it, so it does have another divider, so you can divide it into quarters, but I take 1/2 out, so I've got kind of hammers and stuff in one side and then like chisels and bits in the other side, and then it's got like loops that I can like slide all my long things in. So that's my bucket bag. It's got a hard base. It's pretty indestructible. I love these bucket bags, and I know everyone will say, why don't you just use a bucket? But the handles snap off buckets, and this has got compartments, and it's absolutely bomb-proof. So there you go. Okay, we've got 2 more things to talk about. If you're going on site and fixing, you need a bucket full of wedges, okay? This is not enough wedges. Before I go back on site again this fixing season, I'm probably going to have to get the joiners to make me double this amount of wedges because they just evaporate, don't they? So yeah, loads of wedges. You always need wedges. And then I have my little toolbox that has all of my little bits in. This is This is a Japanese Toolbox, that brand, if you can read it. We all have these. I think Craig has the bigger one. I think Nick has the littler one. It's really handy dandy little toolboxes. In here, so I've got a little magnetic level from Stabila, handy. This is, I love this, I absolutely love this pencil. Dr. Dex on Instagram sent me this. He's a guy who builds amazing decks in America. And I put an Instagram story up a few years ago complaining that I kept dropping my pencils down the scaffold. I was up on like the 16th lift and I kept dropping my pencils. And of course, when you drop something off a scaffold, it always falls down about 10 lifts. I was getting through so many pencils. So Dr. Dex and his lovely wife Kiki sent me this thing, and it's a magnetic pencil holder, so I can bosh it on the scaffold while I'm working up there, which has been a lifesaver. Right, okay, what is in my dinky little toolbox? Spare safety specs. I do have my big box of PPE that I take on site with me, but it's always good to have another pair of safety specs. You always need safety specs, especially when you're chopping out cement. If you're obviously using a breaker, safety specs. Put this down here. Ugh. Okay. This is quite unique to maybe cathedral masons or people working in heritage. I've got a scale, little box with a series of scales and kind of finds bags, little bags, because we do find things. I mean, the last time we were on site chopping out, we found a load of medieval stained glass boshed in the joints. So we could kind of photograph where they were with a scale, we could put them into the finds bags, and then we could take them to the glazers. So that's handy for archaeology. 2 more folding rulers. Can never have enough folding rulers. Scissors, you always need scissors. I love these, so I've got a couple of these. This was handmade by Morgan Pell. She is on Instagram and she is a heritage brush maker, and she makes really old-fashioned handmade brushes. And I was using a little bundle of twigs to like knock back my pointing, like around corners and in like little gaps where you can't get a churn brush in. And she saw me using this bundle of twigs and said, I can make you something better than that. And she did. So I've got this little handmade knocking back brush. How cool is that? Screwdriver, because sometimes you need a screwdriver. Drill bit pencil sharpener, efficient pencil sharpening. Next, one of these, you always need one of these. Knife, because you always need a knife. Little square, because sometimes you always need a little square. I feel like a 10-year-old kid emptying their pockets, being like, oh, I've got rocks and buttons. Oh. Okay, more ceramic armatures. These are slightly bigger. So if I need to build up any mortar repairs, we can put these armatures in. And you can like snap bits off them and like create your own shapes. Another chisel, flat chisel for dressing back if I need to do any of that. Ruler, because sometimes you need a ruler. Spare scotch. What else have I got in here? All sorts of stuff. Pencil. Pencil sharpener for a square pencil. They exist. Spare bits of dowel, because when we're doweling things, when we're doweling or mousing, if you want to know what mousing is, you need to go back and watch my video about tracery panels. But when you're doweling and mousing, you always end up with little offcuts, and these come in really handy for when you're just doing like little doweling things on like copings and stuff like that. Marker pen, and last but by no means least, my favourite wedge. This is my favourite wedge, and it's so important. I've actually put my banker mark, my mason's mark on it, so no one can pinch my favourite wedge. This is for knocking back pointing as well. So when you're doing line pointing, you're like building it up, and then you come back when it's kind of cured a bit and you scrape the top layer off before you knock it back with the churn brush. And this took me a whole season of fixing to round off the end of this oak wedge to get the perfect curve and the perfect angle for scraping back pointing. This is the perfect wedge. So yeah, that's it really. That's all of my site kit for fixing. Like I said, I will also take a breaker and a grinder and a drill up with me. There's, spirit levels, obviously. Duh. So spirit levels, obviously. These are my two go-to spirit levels. So I've got, this is the Mason's level from Stabila. It's got these like bumpers on top because Masons and bricklayers are absolute buggers for hitting the top of their spirit level with their hammer to like range bricks in. So that's what these are for. This is solid. You could do pull-ups off this. It's amazing. So I've got, I think this is just over a metre. I think it's 120. So I've got that one. And then I've got, this is the R-type spirit level. So it's got a really wide base. So it's quite good for like ranging in kind of in different directions. So I have also got the 2 metre, actually I think it's longer than 2 metres, this long boy in the back here. That's really good for ranging in if I'm doing whole walls of ashlar and you need to range in like big sections. That's what that's for. But I really like the R-types because they're like got a really wide base. So just, yeah, just good. So yeah, that's it really. That's all my stuff. So like I said, this is my basic fixing kit. You know, I might be doing like weird little odd jobs on the properties where I might need like a slightly different trowel or, I don't know, just different bits that are kicking around in the workshop, different lifting equipment, that kind of thing. Right, now to the important bits. Would you like to win one of these amazing Velocity bucket bags? Of course you would. So if you've made it to the end of this video, if you would like to win one of these, I have teamed up with Velocity, and if you comment the word bucket bag in the comments of this video, then Velocity will go through and pick someone at random and get in contact with that person, and they will send you one of these amazing bucket bags. They're so good. I've got the loopy handles. They've also got the longer shoulder strap. Got a little loop on here for like looping things on. I usually put rolls of tape, like gaffer tape on that. It's full of pockets and compartments. It's absolutely solid. Love this bag. So comment bucket bag in the comments if you would like to be in with a chance of winning one of these. So yeah, thank you Velocity for that. What lovely people. Right, that's it. So this was my what is in my kit bag for my site tools, for my fixing kit. I'm going to make some more videos about all the different tools in the workshop, different setting out tools, maybe about Mason's PPE. No doubt when I'm on site fixing, I'll think of more like different tools to show you guys. We're going to be out on site maybe in the next 2 months. We've got 2 more months in here working stones. And then, yeah, that'll be it. We'll be on site and you'll be sick of the sight of me sticking stones on the building by that time. Oh, this is the bit where I'm supposed to say, if you like my videos, if you could like and subscribe, I would be super duper grateful. I'm not a professional YouTuber, I'm a professional stonemason and I'm not very good at this, but I am learning. Thank you for listening to me going on about tools for the last 25 minutes. Right, it's 7:30 on Tuesday morning. Let's go to work.